Now more than 600 lawsuits are already filed, just like the Catholic Church and Boy Scout case.
What if my story doesn't count? Most people never file because they think their story doesn't count until it's too late.
Once the final lawsuit is filed, the door slams shut forever. It takes just 60 seconds. 3 questions. That's it. Do nothing, and you act now, and it could change your life.
I almost missed it. Don't make the same mistake. Click now. Once this page disappears, so does your chance.
Online is a vast library.
Responsible by April and May. All perpetrated.
We now head to the Sunshine Bill. Happened. Two teams were involved. That's right. The judge said in his 30-year career that he's never seen a 12-year-old charged with homicide. Which for asking sentence today. The minimum for pleading he will the next 40 years convicted of homicide or tampering with evidence, separate battery, mid-while in jail. Family of the three over Neil Quarrel, Moto, or on the courtroom, all prime first seen asking the maximum penalty for Christopher Atkins, who was 12 years old when he shot and killed 14-year-old Quarrel. The murder March 2023, when 6 kids were riding in a car together. There was a plan to rob a 16-year-old gunpoint. Then Robert Robinson shot Layla Silverman, which led to a crash. When they got out, Atkins said Robertson tried to kill him and he did it. He did, and then since Robertson shot her and again and killed her, Atkins had appealed 40-year sentence. As for the other 2 teams that are co-defendants in this case, it's scheduled to be sentenced at 9 a.m. and Robinson at 1:30 p.m. Reporting on the Marion County Courthouse. Amanda Lindsay, back to you. All right, thank you so much for that detailed highlight you and your great.
Arrested following the killings before the community had the process what happened. The timeline of what happened on March 12th was early hours of March 31st, 2002. The reconstruction patient's victim was found. What emerged was a picture of 3 separate acts of violence carried out in each sequence of people who were coordinating with each other. On that night, 16 teenagers, 3 who would become killers, and 3 who would become the victims, were riding around together in a car. They were all in the same circle in Ottawa. The group had been doing low-level.
Now, let me tell you something about this story. If you have never heard this story, I actually watched an interview about this story a while back ago, and at first they didn't even say that there was 3 people killed when I was originally watching the story. When I originally watched the story, there was only 1 person that was killed that they were speaking about, that they worked together. There was 2 people, the boy and the girl, that were around the same age that died, that they told about. We're a 3rd person. This is perspective on the story, because at first, like I said, the perspective on the story was three boys worked together to kill two people, um, and it was because they were trying to steal the vehicle. Is what the story was originally was. But this story is coming back and he's saying, hey, so actually there was three of them killed, and it wasn't just to steal a car. It was because they were in a quote unquote gang, is what they felt like. And the youngest one out of the group that was 12 that shot one of the people was actually forced to shoot them, and he's been in jail along with the other two dudes. And after 25 years, they were able to receive a review on their case to see if they were either able to get out of jail or if they had to stay. So, yeah, my perspective on the whole thing, I feel like the 12-year-old should be able to get a second chance for the simple fact of when you're 12 years old, you don't have a mind of your own for real. Like you pretty much do what everybody else does because of the simple fact, like they're saying, they live in a small town. So it's not like he can pick and choose who he wants to speak and talk to. You feel me? Like he was kind of like forced to that situation because the people that were around him wanted to be gang members. And instead of them being a role model to him and teaching him how to be a man, they taught him how to be a killer. He was 12 years old. That 12-year-old deserves another chance because of the simple fact, why would 16-year-olds be hanging out with a 12-year-old and then putting a gun into a 12-year-old's hand and telling them to pull a trigger? Like that's not right. Like I really feel like if anything, if they do keep that 12-year-old a little bit longer, they should release him. For those other two that are 16 and 17, whatever they are, they need to sit because of the simple fact, y'all almost grown. This is a baby. He's not even a teenager yet. He's 12. And y'all coerced him to go rob and to kill him. Even if he was all down for it or whatever the case may be, this shouldn't have been something that y'all decided and said, yeah, we're gonna get up and go do this. That shit right now. It's really not. So my perspective on the whole thing, I feel like they should let that 12-year-old out after 25 years and let him retry life because he never got a chance at life. He never paid a bill. He never had a phone bill. None of that shit. He was 12. But those other ones that thought they was grown and they were big homies to that 12-year-old and sent him nowhere good but to a jail, they should see it. And I'm sorry, I don't believe any child or teenager should be in jail. At the same time, y'all were old enough to have a mind of y'all own to say this ain't right. We shouldn't be doing this. We could find something better to do, but y'all didn't. Y'all found the worst possible thing y'all could do. And drag a kid along with you. If he's 12 years old, that means he in motherfucking middle school. Yeah, that means he's in middle school. So y'all 15, 16, whatever case, y'all in high school. Why are y'all high schoolers hanging out with a middle school and toting guns with a middle school? I don't hang out with kids. When I was in middle school, I wasn't hanging out with. When I was in school, I wasn't hanging out with middle schools. Like, no, because you stay in your age range. Kid, toddlers, kids. preteens, teenagers, adults. Everybody has their age range. And your age range, man. Now y'all kids, y'all didn't even make it to 20 years old, not able to drop your ID on the table to say, let me get a pack of cigarettes, let me get a bottle, or whatever the case may be. Ain't even able to drink and do nothing. Because why? You're sitting in a jail cell. Because why? You thought shooting 3 innocent people that was supposed to be y'all friends and dragging a 12-year-old along with y'all was cool. I thought your own trying to say something. But yeah, let's get back to the video.
Armed robberies early in the night. 10 p.m. Neighbors near a residence heard a single gunshot and saw a white day away. The teens had just robbed a man at gunpoint in front of the house. He wasn't seriously hurt in that robbery, but that thought is needed between them, since the gun they carried was so scared to them not to be used. This soon led them to turn on each other. Later that night, around 8 p.m., the same 16 who were still together in the car near Frank's Park talked amongst themselves. Lysol, who was actually a member of the group, suddenly shot at close range by their leader, Robert.
You're freaking hard. What you guys at? I told you, the clip would go so hard. The clip would go so hard. I told you guys.
G is the place to know a legendary collection of boxing vending machines, PvP battles, and more.
Robert Robinson, the oldest portrayed at 17, was the person at the center of the planning. He would later say he decided to kill the three victims because they did read with him and were going to steal him. Lie left bleeding on the ground beside a dumpster. A neighbor heard 4 eye years, went outside, found her still alive, but paramedics rushed her to a hospital. She died.
I know this is off topic video, but I love my friends. All my friends and the people around me, everybody works. Everybody got a job. Everybody get a paycheck. If it's not every week, it's every 2 weeks. Like, this is how people I hang around, be around. I don't be around nobody that ain't got. I'm trying to come up with money. Like, bitch, if you can't at least pull out 20 out your wallet, you can't be cool. Like, if you can't pull at least the 20 out your wallet, we can't be cool. I can be friends with them both guys. Not that being broke is a problem, you know, sometimes you get low, you get down on your money. Sure. But having friends and keeping yourself around people that keep some motherfucking money in their pocket, guess what? When you do get down on your pockets and shit like that, and you can't get me to whoop off the damn, guess what? That's what your friends are for. If they're a real friend, they're gonna hold you down. They're gonna have your back just like you should have theirs. Period.
The 3 teenagers shot and killed in marriage step. And retracing the location of one of the victims' vehicles.
Definitely say they're trying to determine where 2015 cruise was between last Thursday and last Saturday, when the last victims were found. They say the car was pulled from a pond on Saturday with the body of a 16-year-old male quarrels inside. The car belonged to Layla Silvernail, who was found Thursday night. Silvernail died in the hospital Tuesday.
I heard that Layla was shot twice in the head and she survived, and she's in the hospital. I had Layla want to believe it. After that, she took a while, and I heard about this happening.
My investigators have been on this nonstop, and they are going to come to these, and we will arrest.
Sheriff Woods also says the three victims were friends and were together before their deaths. Deputies are currently pursuing multiple.
A short later, the group was just 0.4 miles away. Another murder group, shot Michael Hodo Jr. in the head. His body was left on the side of the road. It was discovered the next morning by some driving by. The remaining teams drove a few miles south to the area of Malawi. By now, controls was last. The leader, Rob Robinson, threatened to kill Christopher Atkins, the youngest member of the group. Atkins injured her. Atkins shot Camille multiple times. The body was placed in the trunk of Lila Silvernail's car. The car was then driven into a pond and left partially submerged.
You know, audio quality and stuff needs to be
I have seen
I'm never
an air dot, but I gave it a try.
At the time, but only realistic chance of surviving. Nickel left along the side in the open, where few people who left there were coming to it. And Camille had been placed in the trunk of Lila's new car, which was then driven to a and pushed into church. And the people who made that decision were teachers from the same community as both of them. It's a forensic expert investigation clearer. In April and May of 2023, all three perpetrators were in custody. Arrested in the killings, they were charged as adults. Decision that reflected both the premeditated nature of the murders and the deliberate effort afterward to conceal what had been done. Of course, it was a legal sense of the next 2 years.
I guess we're already 9 and that heartbreak feels like it's like from the inside. The pain never ends. Damage never stops.
How does it be at this point? Is something saying? For the list here, in there, like I said before, like I see a 12-year-old in there who potentially had years ahead of him, but I also see the kid who shot. So very confused.
The families, Layla, Michael, and Camille. Arrests were not enough. It's the wrong word, but it feels to learn that the people responsible for your child's death are in custody. Now stay present inside if they want the eventual outcome to carry the full weight of what had been taken. He understood that from the start.
I'm already 9 good. And now heartbreak feels like it's slowly coming from inside. The pain never ends. Image never stops.
By the time Robert Robinson stood for sentencing in July 2005, he had been 90 for some time, and the years of proceedings between his actions had allowed the prosecution to build a case that covered the full scope of his involvement in all 3 deaths. Sentence for 100 months. He will not leave prison. Sentences were structured to guarantee that outcome. The judge delivered them with the the 3 victims' families on record in front of him. Tucker was here at the time of 19 days to receive his sentence. He pleaded no less. Sentence was 2 years, 1 for each murder, plus additional time for unrelated and temporarily charged carrying beyond the legal category. It showed what evidence established about deliberate to conceal what happened that night, to call into water, to put this between perpetrators and the bodies of the people they had killed. Like Robinson, Putin will die in prison. Consumers of Welcome to Wall for PC.
Well,
Just so. All I said was what? Yes, I had a face. Okay, it's so. Just to make a picture. I said it's calm. So fucking racing. I don't care how you want to slow down. There's as fuck. Shit, man. You don't know how to. You still.
Christopher Ashton was 15 when he was reported and guilty of attempted murder, robbery, and tampering with evidence. He had also related separate felony charge during his time in custody since his arrest, adding another to how the court assessed his behavior and what trajectory he appeared to be on. He accepted it. His arrest was directed and asked the judge for a second chance.
I'm sure. After you get a chance, I push you to see what's like. I bet you see what it's doing.
His attorney presented coercion. He argued that the 17-year-old had threatened the lives of his entire family, but did not pull the trigger. The judge not all the sentencing at 2 years in prison, and then the minimum on the first murder. The sentence would have 25 years, which point he'll be in the 30s. Whether he reads anywhere is a question law has left open. What the judge said, he reading out the sentence. Someone with dead serious in that room, telling everyone present that this case had brought him to a never been before. He applied the law exactly as required. Made sure that what the law be applied just fully understood everyone in that courtroom before he did. The hearing took place across consecutive in July 2005, more than 2 years after the murder. Atkins was sentenced on the 22nd. Robinson and Bruton the following day. The defendants were present across both cases. They had waited 2 years for those years. Supported direct in court, but not about the defense, but about the specific irreplaceable people who lived in homes and their lives before March 30, 2020.
And some years were already not down the hard great field like it's from the inside that they never
Push the maximum sentence, not to believe or time to get it doesn't care, but because they didn't what Robinson demanded consequences proportionate to Atkins sentenced 4 years in prison, while Bruton and Robinson were the families of those kids sentencing. Those families still went up every hour. The kids. Families of the 3 did it. Atkins, Bruton, also